This is Jerome D Hickman Jr. I'm going to tell you that about being a banquet server. Okay, when you are a banquet server, when you're a banquet server, and you know how when you banquet serve at these hotels and you banquet serve like at casinos, hotels, any events that has to do with banquet serving. Okay. Sometimes you wonder, you know how you wonder why people never really tip the servers and it's always the bartenders that they tip? Okay. The reason why that people don't never tip the servers and they don't tip the bartenders, and they always tip the bartenders, they always be tipping the bartenders, is because when these people pay to have a banquet and they pay for this event, they actually, and when they have to pay for the food to do the event, they charge a gratuity or they'll charge tip pulling. And when these people leave money in a tip pulling or they leave money in gratuity, they take that money and the company keeps the money and the servers never get that money. And if sometimes in some places when the servers do get it and they use a lot of temps to do the serving, they don't ever give the temps that money. So they don't even get a dime of that money. But it's always the company keeps the money and none of the servers get that tip money because the company keeps it. And I'm starting to think, do they charge a gratuity on bartenders? I mean, do they? Because if they don't charge a gratuity on bartenders, then if they are doing it, then how come the bartenders is getting all this tip money that they make, and they get paid the same amount of money as the server? If that's the case, I don't think they're charging gratuity on the bartenders. So that's why everybody tips the bartender, and that's why bartenders is always making this money. But when it comes to the servers, they don't. What they'll do is that they'll leave money in a tip pool or they'll leave money in a gratuity. And then what's really bad is the servers never get that money, and the company keeps that money, and it's not right. Or sometimes they'll take that money and they'll pay it in the server's paycheck in some places, and don't even tell them that they got a tip in there, and then that's just a way for them to pay them less money for doing the job that they're doing. When instead of them saying they're paying $15 an hour, they sitting around here probably paying half of that an hour, But a lot of places be keeping that money because the servers never ever get a dime of that money. And this is why I'm against tip pulling. I'm against gratuity. I think some states have laws on some of this stuff that I don't even know why they're not doing it here in the state of Kentucky and why they're not doing it over in the state of Indiana. But to me, they need to do it because for number one, it is not right that when these people pay to have all this food, pay these events, the server has to bust his butt packing all them heavy trays, bringing the food and everything to the tables, and it's messed up that the company wants to keep the tip money but don't want to give it to the servers because they have an excuse that they don't have a way to give it to them. No, that's bull ass. Because for number one, they got a way that they can give them the money. All they got to do is make it to where that when they send them a deposit or a paycheck for the hourly wage, send in another deposit and another check for their tip money. There's no excuse of why they can't do this because a lot of concession stands do it. So if concession stands are doing it, how come they can't do it? And to me, it's not right because it's totally not right that when these people leave money in a tip pool or gratuity, that these hotels and casinos and all these businesses pocketing the money and keeping it and not giving it to the servers. And some of the servers is only making what? $13 an hour, $14 an hour, $15 an hour, $16 an hour, and $17 an hour, and they only working 4 or 5 hours or 6 hours for an event. It don't make no damn sense. And I'm about tired of it. You know what I mean? This is why they need to get rid of gratuity and tip pulling and make it to where let the people decide if they want to tip the servers and make it to where that they can tip them cash or they can tip them on their Cash App or their Venmo or whatever, and just let it be done that way. Don't sit around and try to have these people tip money for y'all to say y'all gonna split the money up with everybody, and nobody gets that money, and the company's keeping that money. It's bad enough that the company's making all this money off the event anyway, when people got to pay all this money for the food and pay for the rent the space or for the food or whatever. So that's not right. So I'm against these banquets where they taking the money from tip pooling and from the, I don't know how to say it, but it's just not right.